This is the Gen 4 Shotkam, a gun-mounted camera. It's designed for training, but also to capture memories, and I've had one on my gun at some of the best events I've attended. Using this the way we do, we put it through its paces massively, and I've almost no complaints. If there was one, it's that strapping it to a gun like this, a high-end competition shotgun, you don't feel it as such. It's not super heavy, but it's definitely there. And to that effect, Shotkam have just launched the Gen 4 Mini. This is 1/3 smaller and 1/3 lighter than the standard Gen 4. Even though it's smaller and lighter, it has all the same technical features as the Gen 4. The only reduction is in battery life. You get about 5 to 6 hours out of that versus the monster battery that's in the Gen 4. And because we're here at Owl's Lodge on this beautiful sunny day, it'd be rude not to take it for a test drive. When putting a Shotkam on your barrels, make sure you slide it down that bottom barrel about 4 to 6 inches and make sure it's nice and tight. After that, you've got to calibrate it. You press and hold the button at the back until 2 lights come on, go into your settings on your iPhone or whatever phone you have, log into the Shotkam Wi-Fi, go into the app, calibration, make sure it's empty, mount the gun on a target, and then have a friend just to dial that in for you. Very simple process. If you don't, the Shotkam crosshair isn't going to be exactly where you're looking, and from a training perspective, that's going to make that footage relatively redundant, so it's a real vital step. Thereafter, go into your settings and choose which setting you want to do. Shotkam have a lot of different setting options on here, from 4K wide angle to 2.7K zoom to 1080 zoom, 1080 wide angle, 4, 6 and 8 times zooms. They are digital zooms, so you lose a little bit of clarity, but certainly I found in hunting scenarios that a little bit of extra zoom can be really handy just to help pick things out. I like the 4K wide angle for personal training because you can see a bit more of the picture for hold points, but when it comes to moves, you can see such a clear line in the 2.7K that that's probably where my Shotkam spends most of its time. All right, one flip to turn it on, orange light, green light, let's rock and roll. Before we move on, let's run through that stand. Great stand to start on. Real pokey shot into the pink bird and then a real fast swing into the green. What's interesting about those kind of targets is that generally with the standard Shotkam on there, I'd have to acknowledge that I'd have to give that gun a bit more drive. This gun balance is just in front of the hinge usually. Maybe adds just under 1/4 inch in terms of forward balance, which is really manageable. You can definitely feel that extra third off the weight just in the way that gun can move a bit more responsively, which is what this product is for, right? It's designed for competition clay shooters. The more similar the gun feels with a Shotkam as to without it, the better, right? Certainly that makes sense to me. And that's not to say that the standard Shotkam really does a lot, but this is super manageable. I shot that first stand with plastic wads. I'm now going to shoot fibre wads just so we can see a bit of the difference. Obviously with a fibre wad you're going to get a bit more gump coming out the end of the barrel, it's a little bit less clear potentially. Certainly I noticed between the Gen 4 and the Gen 3 basically made all fibre wad footage as good as the plastic wad footage, which here in the UK is quite a big deal. There's 5 different traps here. I'm just going to shoot them as singles and see what happens. I'm going to sound like I'm gushing, but that D-bird, super punchy, fast move out of it. I just feel I've got the confidence to push the gun through and it's going to do what it's told without feeling different to how it would without a Shotkam on. And you know, during registered competitions, you're not supposed to have one on, so inherently there will be a point where it's not going to be attached to my gun. So this kind of thing is great. The E-bird, however, I didn't hit. So I'm going to have a few, and then we're going to look at the Shotkam footage and see if it actually helps me hit it. Let's go. Not particularly proud of that, 2 out of 10. Let's have a little look and see what the difference was between hits and misses, right? Bang, let's have a look at that last shot, which was a hit. I've turned on extra long recording as well, which I quite like when you're shooting sporting because you get the whole stand as one clip, generally speaking. Right, let's have a look, what have we got here? Okay, interesting. I think I'm doing too much of it the other times. That particular time, I made a conscious effort to hold out more. We have a look at this one. I'm holding way back towards the tree. The clay beats me, I'm in a rush, it's then getting away and I'm losing control of that situation. And I'm aware of that because I shoot a lot of clays at this point and I'm becoming more and more self-aware. But watching this back really helps me understand that was the wrong hold point, because sometimes there's so much going on that actually remembering each different shot after you've left a stand, and more importantly a course of 100, 120 birds, kind of leaves you feeling a bit stumped. Kind of intrigued to see if this works. More importantly, whether I remember what I just saw. I broke it. Four out of 4. I can't argue that. I looked at what was the good shot and what was the bad shot, going in, understanding that was the right move. But that is the point in putting a training device on a gun, is to train. It's nice to look at the brakes, it's nice to feel like a hero, but if you're doing something wrong, this is evidence. It cannot lie. And that's really annoying sometimes. One of my only concerns when speaking to Shotkam about this new product was the battery life. The Gen 4 standard has 15 hours and this has 5. That's a big difference. Certainly from a full day of competing or practicing, I was thinking maybe we could wear 5 hours out. They pointed out something very sensible. You can buy a battery bank from Amazon for very reasonable money and just plug it in whilst you're having a coffee. You'll be back up to, well, more charge than you had before coffee. So yeah, problem solved. Price point wise, it's going to sit the same as the Gen 4 at $699. As I said right at the beginning of this video, I've been lucky enough to put a Shotkam on my gun in various situations across the world, in various climates, from super hot to super cold and wet, and it hasn't ever let me down. The price point does reflect that it's an investment, but it's an investment that lasts. It's not a short-term thing. They are a great quality product. Guys, let's smash up some more clays. This first outing went really well. And a few weeks later, I was out with it again for a few days of coaching with GB shooter Josh Brown. Josh, we just spent a very enjoyable 2 days together filming a load of instructional videos and testing out the Gen 4 Mini.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I mean, being 33% lighter definitely has a massive difference to the balance and the weight at the muzzle end of the gun.
I think my moves with this on are much more similar to my moves without it, which obviously from a training perspective is being good.
Playing around, we put it on my Parazzi, we had it on the side-by-side, we had it on your GT11. Wouldn't have noticed it was on there on any of the guns. Having only really used the Shotkam previously, you know, the Gen 4 and stuff on your gun, for example, you know, having the ability to put it on my gun, have a play with it today, has been, yeah, it's been interesting. Can I press on you for one last piece of advice? Given that you can access those other 10 pieces by signing up to Shotkam's newsletter through their website, let's start with a little taster. Exactly that, and I believe that's completely free, right? Completely free. Free instructional videos from myself and Johnny Carter. And genuinely, it was good. I learned a lot. Good. Well, let's just hope you retain the information and put it to good use. And you never know, you might make it to the top one day. Right, Johnny. One last station. We're going to have a right to left quartering bird from the trees in front of us here. Blaze target, followed by a sort of slightly incoming right to left midi. The main thing is we're going to start from the bottom up. Yeah, so get your shoulders nice and square to your kill points. Yeah. Wind back to your hold point, eyes back to your pickup, and just see that target beat the gun before we make that move, okay? Yeah. All right. Let's do it. Pull. New man, mate. Very smooth. As we're on a sporting station, let's do 4 pairs in a row. It's been interesting to learn from you about the right swing through for the right target. Yeah, exactly that. And a lot of it stems from where that gun starts off and that hold point, and just not being too carried away to get the gun connected to the target early. Yes, it's all relative. If the target's, you know, an early quartering bird which we want to shoot quick, right, we want the hold point back so the clay beats the gun soon and we drive through it. But something like that incoming target there, we don't want the gun right back here because we're going to kill the bird here. The longer we spend with it, the more we're going to look at the gun, check the barrel, and then probably end up on the front side of it, which we don't want to be. It's been real interesting to test this absolutely top to bottom and look through all the footage and actually have you use that to teach and sort of speak about all of those mistakes, because it's easy for you to spit words at me, but I'm a visual learner. Yeah, no, exactly. And hopefully for you guys watching this, you'll be able to subscribe to the Shotkam newsletter and watch the videos and hopefully get some useful information yourself. Guys, thank you for watching. Josh, I'm sorry, I should have hit 8 out of 8 there, but it has been a very long 2 days of shooting. Well I'm allowed a miss. Good to see you, Johnny. Right, thank you. Thank you for watching, guys. This channel is made possible by our amazing sponsors. You can find out more about them in the description down below. And if you want to support the channel, you can join as a member. You get loads of extra content, well, some extra content, and occasionally we hook up and go clay shooting together as a membership group. If you don't feel like joining today, we really appreciate you watching and subscribing. Have a wonderful day.